Hello students, welcome to Sri Jayendra's Ring Zone classes. I am your friend and mentor for coming classes with respect to physics. This is lecture number 10 of unit motion in a straight line. In today's classes we are going to discuss about the integration, that how this is useful to us, according to the physics. So first let's begin with the integration. Let's say, suppose this is y axis, this is x axis, and let's say a graph has been plotted for y versus x, and that quantity is something like this, and you need to find out an area of this. Then probably your answer would be, sir, this is very easy, this is 0. Let's say this would be an x1 and this represents y1. If I need to find out an area of a triangle, I can easily write it as an 1 by 2 multiplied by base multiplied by height. So it's an half into x1 into y1. Yes, you are very well true that this is very easy. Let's say the second situations look like this. This is y, this is x, and this is somehow it has been plotted for y versus x. Let's say this is x1, this is x2. Now you need to find out an area of this. Now you are thinking that how is it possible, because this is not an anyhow mathematical symbols or not a well-known polygon to whom area is known to us. So how can we do it? So what we can assume it, that let's say divide this area or divide this shape into so many small segments such that each segment looks like a straight line. Can you do this? Yes. Suppose I have divided this into 1,000 segments, and if I add area of this 1,000 segments, then it is an area of given curve. Yes, can we do this? Yes, this helps. But tell me, practically is it viable to divide this into 1,000 segments and then find it out? Let's say you are going to find out an area of this, then you are going to find out the area of this, then you are going to find out an area of this, and such as you are going to do the same thing for 1,000 such strips, and then you are going to add it. Does it viable? That can we do this? No. But we have a one very powerful tool in mathematics, that let's say this is y, this is x, and suppose this is the situation, this is function y directly proportional to the x square. In the uh, classes of a graph, you know this. And suppose we are going to add this area, or we want to find out this area. So in mathematics we have a one tool, very powerful, it is an integration. What I can do is I can just integrate this from 0 to x1. So this is how and this is why we require an integration. I hope these things are clear to you. This is why we require an integration. Let's say y is equals to, suppose, x square, and I need to integrate this. Then I will say that y should be is equals to integration of x square dx. Can you see this shape? Can you see this? This is symbol of integration. And this says integrate x square with respect to dx. It's an integration of x square dx, or integration of x square with respect to dx. So what we are going to do in today's class is we will just take and pick all those functions only which we are going to use a very often, a very often in physics. We are not going to discuss each and every formula of an integration at this point of time. We are just going to use those formula, or we are just going to discuss about those functions only which we are going to use in physics. I hope these things are clear. So let's begin with the basic formulas of integration. Look at this. First formula, it's an integration of x to the power n dx. It is x to the power n plus 1 divided by n plus 1 plus c. This c is a constant. It is a constant number. And I can use this unless n is equals to minus 1. A second function, it's an integration of e to the power x dx. It is e to the power x plus c. Third function, it is integration of 1 by x dx. It's an ln x plus c. Now if you remember the differentiation, it was something like this: d by dx of x to the power n would be equals to n into x to the power n minus 1. Here one of the power would be reduced, the power will be decremented by 1, and power, whatever power was there, it has been multiplied. Now here this is the reverse of the function. Here the power is x to the power n, that power is incremented by 1, as well as here powers were divided, but here powers will be, sorry, here power will be n multiplied, but in integration this powers will be divided. Yes, d by dx of e to the power x, what was it? Yes, it is e to the power x only. Even in integration of e to the power x dx, it remains the same. It is an e to the power x plus c. What was d by dx of ln x? What was it? Yes, it is 1 by x. Now look at this completely reverse function, integration of 1 by x dx. It is an ln x plus c. So I can tell that differentiation and integration are reversible process to each other. This can be said. Now let's practice this functions. Let's practice it. Suppose you have been given that y should be is equals to x square plus 2x plus 1, and what you need to do is you need to do, let's say you need to integrate this function, such as z is equals to integration of y dx. So what you need to do is you need to put up a value of x square y plus 2x plus 1 dx. So what we can do is integration of x square dx plus integration of 2x dx plus integration of 1 dx. Now what would be the situation? First you need to compare this with x to the power n. Then in this case n is equals to 2. So what you need to do is, shall I write down the master formula? It's an h to the power n dx is equals to x to the power n plus 1 divide by n plus 1. So I need to increment my power by 1, and I need to divide a same number. I need to divide a same number. So here what I can do is n equals to 2, so I can write as an x cube divided by 3 plus 2 is a constant, keep it aside, into x to the power 1. Now in this case n is equals to 1, in this case n equals to 1. So if n is equals to 1, it's an x square divided by 2 plus, now look at this very carefully, what should I do? What is going on your mind? Shall I write this as 1 into x to the power 0? Look at this very carefully. It is an integration of 1 into dx. Shall I write it that it is a 1 into x to the power 0? If yes, then my n is 0 in this case. In this case, n equals to 0. And if it is n equals to 0, so what should I write? It's a 1 multiplied by x to the power 0 plus 1 divided by 0 plus 1 plus c. Yes. So if I solve this, it would be an x cube by 3 plus this 2 and this 2 would be a cancel out, plus x square plus in 1 into x to the power 1. It's an x to the power 1 divided by 1 plus c. So it would be look like x cube by 3 plus x square plus x plus 6. This would be my final answer, where c is a constant, that you know it is a constant. Now can you do this kind of thing? Are you sure? Are you sure? One more thing. If in differentiation, if we are going to differentiate any constant number, if we are going to differentiate any constant number, that would be a 0. But here in the integration, it could not be a 0 because I need to multiply it with an x to the power 0, something like that. And then I need to do the same thing which I perform with any other number. So are you sure? Do you get this? Confirm. Let's look. Have your pen and paper with you guys, please, and do this with me. Let's say y is equals to x square plus 1 by x square, and what you do is, or what you require is, you require z is equals to integration of y dy. So this z is equals to integration of, let's put up the value of y, it's an x square plus 1 by x square. This is dx. So what can I do is, I can do this x square dx plus integration of 1 by x square dx. So what would be the next step? Did you write it? Yes, it's a 1 by x square, so this should be x to the power minus of 2 dx. Now what is my basic formula? Let's write it up here. It's an x to the power n dx should be is equals to x to the power n plus 1 divide by n plus 1 plus c. So if I compare this relation with the standard formula, in this case n is equals to 2, and in this case n is equals to minus 2. So let's put up the value. So this z would be is equals to x to the power 2 plus 1, it is 3, divide by 2 plus 1, it is 3, plus here it is x to the power minus 2 plus 1 divided by minus 2 plus 1 plus c, obvious. So this should be x cube by 3 plus x to the power minus of 1 divided by minus of 1 plus c. This is it. This is it. Did you get this? Are you sure? Will you able to solve this kind of questions? Are you? Will you be do this? Are you sure? Are you sure? Can you do this? Sure. Are you sure? Shall I give you one numerical? Okay, let's look. This is challenge for you guys, so do it fast. Let's say y is given, that is x square plus 1 by x square plus x plus 1 by x. What you need to do is, you need to just integrate this. Z is equals to integration of y dx. So things would look like this. It's an x square dx plus integration of 1 by x square dx plus integration of x dx plus integration of 1 by x dx. So this should be, this is x square, so it should be an x cube by 3. This is 1 by x square, so if this should look like x to the power minus of 2. Yes, so this would be minus of 2 plus 1 divided by minus 2 plus 1. This is integration of x, it's having a power of 1, so this should be x to the power 1 plus 1 divided by 1 plus 1 plus 1 by x. What should I do with this? What should I do? Yes, if you are assuming that sir, very easy, it's an x to the power minus of 1 dx, and then I can write as an n equals to minus 1, then you are thinking in a wrong manner. This could not be the approach, because if you remember this, or shall I show you this? Let's have a look at this. When we have discussed this formula, we have a note that this should be the correct formula unless and until it is n equals to minus 1. So if it is integration of 1 by x, it is ln x plus c. Yes, what did you assume? X to the power minus 1 or ln x? If you have assumed ln x, great, well done. So this is integration of 1 by x, it's an ln x plus c. So if I, let's say, solve it, it's an x cube by 3 plus x to the power, this is minus 2 plus 1, so it is x to the power minus of 1, divide by minus 2 plus 1 minus 1 plus x square by 2 plus ln x plus c. This would be the final answer. This would be the final answer. What was your answer? Is it same? Is it same? Are you sure? Okay, let's move to the next. Let's say they have given as y is equals to root of x plus 1 by root of x, and you need to perform that z is equals to integration of y dx. You need to perform this. So please, now you can do it very quickly. It's an x to the power 1 by 2 plus x to the power minus of 1 by 2 dx. Do this with me. Then my next step should be x to the power 1 by 2 dx plus integration of x to the power minus of half dx. If it is an x to the power plus half, then it should look like half plus 1 divide by 1 by 2 plus 1 plus x to the power minus of half plus 1 divide by minus of half plus 1. So if things would look like this, then it should be half plus 1. What it would be? Yes, good job, it's a 3 by 2 divide by 3 by 2 plus this is minus of half plus 1, this is x to the power half divide by half plus c. So that should be is equals to 2 into x to the power 3 by 2 divide by 3 plus 2 into x to the power half plus c. This should be your final answer. What was it? Do you perform the same task? Yes. Do you feel comfortable with this? Are you sure? Are you sure? So let's do a last question of this formulas. But do this very carefully, and you are going to attempt it with me. So look at the data and go for it. X square plus 1 by x square plus x plus 1 by x plus root of x plus 7. This is the value of y. What you need to do is you require z is equals to integration of dx. Now what would be my answer? So it would be an x square plus, it's an 1 by x square, so this is x to the power minus 2 plus x, but I know that I am not going to do it as an x to the power minus 1. Yes, so keep this as a 1 by x plus root x, it's a x to the power half plus 7 dx. I need to integrate this. If I need to integrate this, now you know it. You should have in back of your mind this formula, that integration of x to the power n dx would be there. Then I will add one power and I will divide the same with same number. Yes, this should be running in your back of the mind. So this is integration of x to the power 2, so this is x cube by 3 plus x to the power minus 2, so this should be x to the power minus 2 plus 1 divided by minus 2 plus 1. Yes, this is x to the power 1. So what it would be? It's an x square by 2 integration of 1 by x. Yes, absolutely right. It is ln x plus x to the power 1 by 2 plus 1 divided by 1 by 2 plus 1, and this integration of 7 dx, what is it? Is it 0? How many of you have did it as a 0? Don't make the mistake. This should be integration of 7 into x to the power 0 dx. So let's solve this. It's an x cubed by 3 minus 2 plus 1, so it would be a minus of x to the power minus 1 divided by 1 plus x square by 2 plus ln x plus x to the power 3 by 2 divide by 3 by 2 plus 7x, yes, correct, plus c. This should be the correct answer. This should be the correct answer. What was yours? What was it? Did you perform the same thing? Great. Let's move on to the next set of formulas. This is the integration formula for the trigonometric functions. So here it is an integration of sin x dx. It is minus cos x plus c. Integration of cos x dx. It is sin x plus c. And integration of sec square x dx. It is 10x plus c. If you want to recall it, if you want to recall the relations with differentiation, let's have a look at this. What was d by dx of sin x? What was it? What was it? Yes, it is plus cos x. Then d by dx of cos x, it was minus of sin x. And d by dx of 10x, it would be a sec square x. So as we discussed previously as well, this is exactly the reverse process of a differentiation, or these two are reverse process to each other. These two are the reverse of the process to each other. I hope these things are clear to you. Is it? Is it? Are you sure? Okay, let's move to the practice. Let's say you have been given that y is equals to x plus sin x plus cos x plus 1 by x. What do you need to do? Yes, you assume it correctly. Z is equals to integration of y dx. So if I need to integrate this x plus sin x plus cos x plus 1 by x dx, then I know that it is integration of x dx. What is it? It's an, yes, it's an x square by 2. What was the integration of sin x dx? Plus integration of cos x dx plus integration of 1 by x. Yes, you now know it, it's an ln x. So now it's an x square by 2 plus integration of sin x. Yes, it is cos, but plus cos or minus cos? What was it? Yes, it is minus of cos x plus integration of cos x, it's a sin x plus ln x plus c. Yes, c is a constant, that you know. This should be the answer. Have you done the same thing? Are you sure? Did you? Great work. Let's move to the next. Suppose you have been given that y is equals to sin t plus cos t. Y is equals to sin t plus cos t. And you need to integrate this. Let's say you have been asked that perform z is equals to integration of y dt. So if I do this, it is z is equals to integration of y dt. That should be is equals to sin t plus cos t dt. So if it is integration of sin t plus cos t dt, then what I need to do is integration of sin t. Integration of sin t, what is it? It is minus of cos t. And integration of cos t, It's a sine t plus c. This should be my final answer. What was yours? What was yours? Is it the same? Are you sure? Is it the same? Is it? Yes. Can you do this kind of questions? Are you sure? So, shall we move a one step ahead? Yes. Let's begin. Now, we are going to see integration but with limits. We are going to go for the integration but it is with limits. We generally call them definite integrals. This is what we call as an definite integrals. Now what is it? Let's look. Let's say you have been given that y is equals to x square. Integrate this from from x equals to 1 to x equals to 3. Now what does it mean? It means the thing would may look like this, that this is y, this is x. How its graph should look alike? Is it a straight line? Is it? No. Yes. Have you remembered the graphs? Yes. It's a power 1. It is having a power of 2. Both are having a different powers. And as both are having a different powers, they could not form a straight line, but they will form a curvature. Now, while performing a curvature, whom you will protect for this graph? Yes, y is having a power of 1, x is having a power of 2, and we are going to, or we were protecting those people who have lesser power. In this, it's a y, so graph should look like this. Yes. And now let's say this is x equals to 1, let's say this is x equals to 3, this is 1, this is 3. You need to find out, what you need to find out is, you need to find out an area of this. You need to find out this area. That means you need to integrate this. Did you get it? What you need to do is, you need to simply integrate this. So how can you do this? So let's look at this. This is y is equals to integration of x square dx. This is y is equals to integration of x square dx. And let's write down first a generalized term. This is y is equals to integration of x to the power n dx. At this place, you are going to write lower limit and here it is an upper limit. One is the lower limit, one is the upper limit. So lower limit tells me that from where I should begin my integration. So I am going to integrate it from the 1, so this should be here. And upper limit tells me that up to which, or up to which location, or up to which parameter I need to integrate this function. So this is, in my case, it is 3. Now what you need to do is, initially or at a first step, just forget about any limits and just do it as you were doing it. That means, if suppose you have been asked that y would be equals to integration of x square dx, what was your answer? Yes, your answer would be x cube divided by 3. Yes. Now let's put up a limit. You need to always use a square bracket for this, from lower limit to upper limit. I hope you understand this. First you need to perform it as no limits are given, so integration of x square dx will give me an x cube by 3. Now let's apply a limit to it. That means I need to integrate this from x equals to 1 to x equals to 3. So I have put up a limit from 1 to 3. Always on a bottom side it would be a lower limit, and always on the top right corner it would be an upper limit. Now what you need to do is you need to apply a limit to a function in which you have integrated it for you have integrated this with respect to dx. So you need to apply your limits at a place or at all places where x is visible. So what you need to do is it's in 3 cube by 3 minus of here I have replaced x with 3, it's an upper limit, minus of now put a lower limit in place of 1, it's an x to the power 3 divide by 3. So this is 3 cube by 3, it's a 3 square, yes it's a 3 square, it's a 9, minus of 1 cube, it's a 1 divide by 3. So this is 9 3s are 27 minus 1. This is 9 3s are 27 minus 1. It's a 26 by 3. So can you do this? Are you sure? Are you sure? Let's repeat this. What you need to do is you need to at a first step simply assume that there are no limits are there, and you need to perform the same task as you were performing previously, that apply a relation which is integration of x to the power n dx. That means it would be an x to the power n plus 1 divided by n plus 1, and then go for the limits. While putting up the limits, you need to apply a higher limit or an upper limit at first, minus of lower limit. So it should look like upper limit minus of lower limit. Can you understand this? Is it clear to you? Are you sure? Are you? Okay, let's move on and let's check it out, that can it be done or not. Let's suppose the data is given as y is equals to x square plus 3x plus 4. They have asked us to integrate from x equals to 0 to x equals to 2 meter. I need to integrate this. It's an integration of y dx. So that should be integration of x square plus 3x plus 4 dx. From where to where? It is from x equals to 0 to x equals to 2. So let's begin with the 0 and end up at the 2. So at a first step I need to integrate x square plus 3x plus 4 dx. What it would be? Yes, it is x cube by 3 plus 3x, it's a 3x square by 2 plus integration of 4 dx, it is 4x. I hope these things are clear to you. That would be from 0 to 2. Is it clear? Is it? Are you sure? Okay, now let's put up a limit. That means y is equals to I need to put up first a higher limit. It would be an where I can see an x, I will replace first a upper limit and minus lower limit. So this should be is equals to y is equals to 2 cube by 3 plus 3 by 2 multiplied by square of the 2 plus 4 into 2 minus of lower limits. So if I put up a lower limit, it would be an 0 by 3, it's a 0, plus 3 into 0 plus 0, plus 4 into 0, it's a 0. So that should be is equals to 2 cube by 3, it is an 8 by 3 plus 3 by 2 multiplied by 4 plus 4 2s are 8. This is 2 2s are 4. So that should be is equals to 8 by 3 plus 3 2s are 6 plus 8. So I hope This is 6 plus 8, 14. 14, 6 plus 8, 14, and 14 threes are 42. So 42 plus 8, this is 50 by 3. This would be the final answer. I hope these things are clear to you. Are you sure? Can you do this? Will you? Let's have a look at this. Next question. Next question. Suppose you have given that y is equals to sine theta plus cos theta, and you have been asked to integrate this from theta is equals to 0 to theta is equals to pi by 2. Let's do this by your own. Take your time. You are having in 15 seconds. Do it fast. Do it. Yes, can you do this? Can you? Let me help you. Z is equals to integration of sine theta plus cos theta d theta, and that should begin from 0 to pi by 2. So integration of sine theta, what is it? Yes, it is minus of cos theta, and integration of cos theta, it's a sine theta. Let's write this as in sine theta minus of cos theta. So this should be from 0 to pi by 2. Now let's put up a value. So that should be is equals to first a lower limit, first an upper limit minus of lower limit. So this would be sine of pi by 2 minus of cos of pi by 2 minus of sine of 0 degree minus of cos of 0 degree. So sine pi by 2, it's a sine 90 degree. What is it? Yes, sine 90 is 1. So this would be 1 minus of cos pi by 2. It's a cos 90 degree. What is it? Yes, it is 0. So cos 90 would be a 0 minus of sine 0. It is 0 degree minus of cos 0 degree. It's a 1. So this should be 1 minus 0 minus 0 minus minus plus 1. The final answer should be 2. What was yours? Is it same? Is it? Are you sure? So can you do this kind of tough stuff? Are you sure? Will you be able to do this kind of questions? Are you? Can it be done? Can it be? Are you sure? Can it be done by you guys? Okay. So let's have one more question for you. Suppose you have been given that y is equals to that is x square plus 1 by x plus 1 by x square. Integrate this from x equals to 0 to x equals to 1. Integrate this from x equals to 0 to x equals to 1. So let's integrate this. What you need to do is that z is equals to, let's say, integration of y dx. So this is equals to integration of x square plus 1 by x square. I can write it as an x to the power minus of 2 dx from 0 to 1. So if I'm going to integrate this, it's an x square, it is x cubed by 3 plus ln x plus x to the power minus 2, it is x to the power minus 1 divided by minus of 1. So now let's put up the value of this from 0 to 1. So it would be, let's put up 1, it's an 1 cube divided by 3 plus ln 1 minus of, as it is a minus of 1 by x, so it is 1 by 1 minus minus. Now let's time to replace the value of lower limit. It's a 0 cube by 3, this is 0 plus ln 0, and this is minus 1 divide by x to the power minus 1. So this should look alike, that it is a minus of 1 by x, and if I replace this with the 0, if I replace this with the 0, this is 1 by 0, and what is the value of 1 by 0? What is it? What is it? Yes, this is tends to an infinite. This tends to an infinite, and this look like it's a 1 by 3 plus ln 1 minus 1 by 1, it's a minus of 1 minus of infinite. Now any number is there which is going to be subtracted from an infinite, that is approximately equals to infinite itself. So this comes to an infinite. So can you do this kind of, this is simply mathematics. We are using this relations so that we can do a certain task, we can do a certain task in physics very easily. As in the first slide we were discussing that if we are not going to use this as an integration, what we need to do is we need to calculate an area of each strip and that kind of stuff, and that is simply not possible for us to calculate. So that's why we are borrowing this function from a maths people, and we are using this. Are you comfortable with this? Are you are you sure? Is it clear up till now? Is it clear? Are you sure? Okay, so let's move to the one of the function, it's a chain rule in integration, but we are going to use it, and we are going to learn this with the help of example only. Let's say you have been given that y is equals to a sine omega t, and what you need to do is you need to integrate this. That means you have been asked that z is equals to integration of y dt, you need to do this. So what you need to do is it is simply integration of a sine omega t dt. Now let's assume that if it is simply a t, what you are going to do, it is a multiplied by integration of sine, it is a minus of cos. Now you are going to write here t, but it is omega t, so you are going to write it as an omega t. But you made a incorrect assumption that it is t, so you need to pay for it, and to need to pay for it, you were differentiating the term which you assumed incorrectly, it is an omega t. So if you do this, this should be back of your mind, d by dt of omega t, it should be an omega. If it was a differentiation, you just multiplied this, but this is integration, and when this is integration you need to divide this. I repeat, as this is integration, and according to the chain rule of integration, you are going to simply divide this. So this is divide by omega, so the final answer would be minus of a by omega into cos omega t. If you are through with the chain rule of differentiation. You must be through with this. What we are going to do this, first we are going to assume a certain term, such as I can integrate it. In this case I need to assume an omega t as a t. So if I assume this omega t as a t, I make it, integrate it, and integration of sine t would be a cos t. But it was not a t alone, so I replace this t with the omega t. So this is minus of cos omega t. First tell me, is it clear up till now? Is it, is it clear? Yes. So now if it is a sine omega t, I make it right as in minus of cos omega t. But as I assumed incorrectly, I need to differentiate it. I know what I am speaking. So please don't underestimate that this should be integration. No, this is not an integration. I need to differentiate this. I need to differentiate the term which has been wrongly assumed. So this is d by dt of omega t, and that should be an omega, and that omega needs to be divided, not multiplied. And it would be n minus of a by omega into cos omega t. This would be your final answer. So are you done with this? Are you? Will you able to solve this kind of questions? Are you sure? Are you sure? Let's do it. Suppose you have been asked that y is equals to e to the power minus of 4t. What you need to do is you need to integrate z is equals to integration of y dt. So it is e to the power minus of 4t dt. Sorry. So this is with respect to t. What you need to do is integration of e to the power x. Did you remember this thing? Integration of e to the power x dx was the e to the power x alone. So this is e to the power minus of 4t, but you assume this incorrectly. So what you need to do is you need to divide this. What you need to divide the differentiating term of minus of 4t, which is a minus 4. This is equals to minus of 4 plus c, while c is a constant. So have you done with this? Are you sure? Have you done with this? Will you be able to do this kind of questions? Will you? Are you sure? Let's do this. Suppose you have been given that y is equals to 1 by x square plus 2x plus 1. You need to integrate this. Z is equals to integration of y dx. So this is equals to z is equals to integration of y dx. This is equals to, can I assume this term? Can I assume this term as an x? Okay, what is my benefit in that? If I assume that as an x, then this should look like 1 by x. And if I need to integrate 1 by x or integration of 1 by x dx, I can simply write this as an ln x. Yes. So I'm doing the same task. It's an 1 by x square plus 2x plus 1 dx. So this should be ln x square plus 2x plus 1. Yes, but you have assumed it incorrectly. So what you need to do is you need to differentiate this term. It's an d by dx of x square plus 2x plus 1. So if I do this, so let's look, z should be look like ln x square plus 2x plus 1 divide by, this is d by dx of x square plus 2x plus 1. This is 2x plus 2. If you wish, you can have a 2 as a common. It's an ln x square plus 2x plus 1 divide by 2 into bracket x plus 1. This would be the final answer. Yes. Are you done with this? Are you sure? So now will you be able to solve this kind of questions? Are you sure? Yes. So let's wind it up here. We have started with the integration basics, and now you know what are the basic formulas, that we are going to use. In the very next class of this, we are going to use integration as an physics formula. We are going to use this formula as an physics for the physics, and we are going to use this integration for a physics. We are going to find it out the disposition and distance and velocity with the help of integration. So please, I request you guys, do one thing, that please please be very careful while using this. And before you come to the next class, before you enter in the next class, please revise this thoroughly, as well as I request you to also revise the previous topics, that means the differentiation and graphs. They are very useful to us. So please revise it and do as many questions as possible. So bye bye, have a good day, take care.